What's up guys, Chris Blevins here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna do a lobster catch and cook. Went out diving this morning. I got a few lobsters. Went out with a buddy. Check out this footage from the dive. Got a few good shots. All right, so we got some lobsters and we are going to prepare them on our Traeger. But first, I'll show you guys how to correctly measure the lobster to make sure it's the right size and make sure you're not taking a short lobster. So the lobster has to be 3 1/4 inches measured from, oh boy, 3 1/4 inches measured from the carapace length from the center of the eyeball ridge to the back of the carapace. So I'm going to show you guys how to measure that correctly. All right, so this is your California Spiny Lobster. Their range extends from Southern California down throughout Baja California. They don't have claws, they have spines, which can still get you pretty good. They also have some sharp kind of blades here along the tail. Those will get you too. This is your lobster gauge, 3 1/4, and it needs to be measured from the center of the eyeball ridge to the back of the carapace, and the gauge can't go over the end. So what I'll do is I stick the gauge on the front of the eyeballs here. You can see that my gauge is unable to go off the end of the carapace, so that is a keeper size. If the gauge is able to slip off the back side of the carapace here, then that is undersized and it cannot be taken. That's how you'll measure your California Spiny Lobster. This one's good size keeper, very clearly a keeper. We got 3 of them this size today. Had a nice dive this morning, went out around 3 a.m. Kind of murky, surgy conditions you guys can see in the video, but there was a decent amount of them out there and was able to get 3 keepers in about an hour and a half of diving. You can see here underneath, you can tell the sex, male or female, by looking underneath. See these small fins here? These small ones are indicative of a male, as opposed to the female version, which has these very large tail fins on the underside. See these? So this is a female, and this is your male. All right, so we're gonna prepare these for cooking on our Traeger grill. So first thing we're gonna do is, I gave them a rinse with fresh water. You don't wanna keep them in fresh water. Well, first off, you need to keep the lobster alive until the time that it's cooked. The meat can spoil very quickly and gets bacterial growth on it that can be poisonous give you food poisoning. So you want to keep it alive for as long as you can. If you have to freeze it, then you can freeze just the tail, but you want to freeze it immediately after killing it. So try not to eat lobsters that have been dead for a while, because you can get sick from that. All right, so as I said, I gave them a light rinse with fresh water, but you don't want to keep them in fresh water because that'll kill them, just to get in some of the sand and muck off of them. They've been alive in my cooler for the day, and we just kept them in there with some ice. They weren't directly on the ice, but they were in a cold cooler with I put my wetsuit in there, which was soaked with salt water, so it kept the humidity really high in the cooler, and they stayed alive really well. They're still super lively. So I gave them a light rinse. We are going to get a large pot of boiling water going, and then we're gonna drop these guys in the pot of boiling water alive, which is quite sad, but I wouldn't feel too bad for the lobsters because these guys are extremely vicious creatures. They would definitely eat you alive if they could, so don't feel too bad for them. As I mentioned, I was able to get 3 keepers. I gave one of the keepers to my dive buddy because unfortunately he didn't get any keepers, but he was out there definitely diving hard with me and helping me out and keeping us, you always want to dive with a buddy. So we were free diving, and so thanks to my dive buddy for helping me out, and definitely wanted to kick him down a lobster. Hopefully he's enjoying it tonight as well. All right, so first I'm gonna go ahead and turn on my Traeger and get it heating up. I'm gonna go ahead and set my Traeger grill to 375. We have apple wood pellets in here right now. I'm not sure what the best thing is for seafood, but I like the apple wood pellets. You can experiment around, try different pellets, see what you like. Let me know in the comments what kind of pellets do you guys like for this thing. So there's 375 degrees, set my set point, and we are going to fire her up. All right, so that'll be firing up for about 15 or 20 minutes, and it'll notify me via Wi-Fi once it's at temp. We're gonna go get our pot of water boiling, and we're gonna boil them first and then throw them on the grill with butter. All right, so I don't have a big enough pot to cook both lobsters in at once, so I'm gonna do 2 pots. We got boiling water that's been lightly salted on both sides. These are gonna get boiling pretty quick here, and we're gonna throw 1 lobster in each one. We're gonna throw the lobster in tail first to make sure, if you put it in head first, it'll try to swim back out or crawl back out of the boiling pot, which will make a mess and probably burn you too. So definitely throw your lobsters in tail first. We're gonna put 1 in each. We're gonna boil them until they're basically all the way bright red, and then we're gonna cut them in half, and we're gonna clean them and get them ready to go on the Traeger. Before you cook something on the Traeger, make sure you have enough pellets. Last thing you want to do is run out of pellets mid-cook, or especially not when it's in its warm-up mode, so we need to add some more in here. All right, so got our water at a nice rolling boil. Steam up my lens here. And as I said, we're gonna put these lobsters straight in and make sure they don't crawl their way out. This is the most cruel time, and so sorry to all you animal lovers out there. Seems like humans don't really care about the lives of invertebrates as much as mammals, so maybe you don't care, but like I said, a lobster will eat you if it gets the chance, so don't feel too bad. Sorry, bud. All right, so while we're waiting for the lobsters to poach, which should just be a few minutes, I'm gonna go ahead and get some butter melted. because we are going to, after we take the lobsters out of the water, we're gonna split them and we're gonna clean them, and then we're gonna baste them in butter and then put them on the Traeger. Just gonna set this here. Should melt it pretty thoroughly. All right, this has got a fold lined pan. I'm gonna put the lobsters on here as they come out of the water, and I'm gonna split them and clean them on here so I'm not making too much of a mess, and this will be easy to throw away and clean up when I'm done. Nice bright red, bright orange color. All right, so now we're going to split these and we are going to clean them out. So I'm just going to take my knife, puncture directly down the center. A whole bunch of fun juice comes out. And we will take our spoon and just get as much of this out as we can. Alright, so here's my half lobsters. I'm just gonna soak up as much of this gut juice as I can. Alright, now I'm going to coat these things in a generous coating of butter. Alright, now they're ready to go on the grill. Alright, now I'm going to flip them over and go meat down for a little bit. That's my son in the background. I think he wants some lobster too. Did meat down for about 5 minutes and got a nice little glaze on the tail meat. It's looking really good. We're gonna be enjoying these with a nice margarita and a little bit of reposado. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for the lobster catch and cook. Real tender, real smooth, not overdone, not dried out. I guess I probably had it on the Traeger at 375 for about an hour, we think. You know, so we poached it for probably like 5 minutes, split it, cleaned it, basted it, put it on the Traeger for about, I think it was about an hour, meat up, and then maybe 5 minutes meat down. I put a couple more layers of butter on it while it was on there. Came off looking really good. Gonna enjoy it. Hope you guys like this video. If you guys want to see more of these catch and cook videos, they seem to be really popular on YouTube, so we'll try to make some more maybe. Hopefully we can actually catch a fish in the near future. Haven't caught much lately. So yeah. Hopefully there's some yellowtail in our future, or maybe even a halibut. I'm gonna be trying for some halibut, I think, in the future, and we can do something with that. But yeah, if you guys have any comments or suggestions, go ahead and leave me a comment below. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe now. Appreciate all you new viewers and everybody who's been watching the channel. So hopefully we'll have some more coming for you soon, and we'll see you guys out at the launch.